Hello folks, Reverend CrystalCox here, Goddess Church, Port Townsend. To donate to our church, it's bbgoddesschurch@gmail.com. Okay, I'm going to read to you a little bit about therapeutic touch. The Personal Practice of Therapeutic Touch by Dolores Krieger, Krieger. Okay. Reflection, this is a little poem. Reflections on Therapeutic Touch. I've reached for you in so many ways, one of which was to run at speed so fast I seemed to stand still, while you danced around me, now caressing invisible forces passing through your energy field. I've discovered the tempo and dance to your beauty, which is mine. All right. Okay. Let's see. Accepting your power to heal. And yes, everyone has the potential to be a healer, and everyone can heal someone. But you know, right? Look, again, not good or bad, but the kind of a hierarchy that whatever frequency you're at, it's best if you work with people that are lower frequency, then you can help them raise their frequency while you're still working on raising your frequency. Make sense? Yeah, Crystal, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, an introduction. Okay. I don't really want to read the introductions and all that. I want to get right into the deal. Okay, basic techniques of therapeutic touch. A definition of therapeutic touch. Therapeutic touch. Are you sick of me saying therapeutic touch? Therapeutic touch is a contemporary interpretation of several ancient healing practices. These practices consist of learned skills for consciously directing or sensitively modulating human energies. The term therapeutic touch may in fact be a misnomer because in practice, the healer need not make physical contact with the patient, the healee. Much of the work done by the person playing the role of healer has its primary focus the modulation of the healee's energy field rather than the touch or manipulation of their skin. Suggestion can act as an ever-present and powerful placebo in human healing interactions. However, the responses to therapeutic touch are not solely or overtly due to suggestion or persuasion. Some of the most startling therapeutic responses have occurred in persons not thought capable of responding to verbal command, such as premature babies, post-operative patients who have been deeply under anesthesia, and persons who are in a coma and unaware of their surroundings. They are. They just don't think they are. Neither is therapeutic touch a miracle cure. It is simply an opportunity to actualize the natural human potential to help or heal yourself or others. Over the past 20 years, as Dora Kunz, D-O-R-A, K-U-N-Z, and I developed therapeutic touch, there were several basic scientific assumptions that guided our rationale. The following are 4 of those principles. All the life science agrees that physically a human being is an open energy system. The assumption implies that the transfer of energy between people is a natural continuous event. Therefore, when a healer transfers energy to a healee during therapeutic touch, it is by a non-stressful, effortless effort that is guided by conscious, mindful action. The important ingredient added by the healer is intentionality within a context of compassionate concern for the healing. So, empaths, you care about the people, but it's basically, it comes down to your intention. Okay. Anatomically, a human being is bilaterally symmetrical. This symmetry is apparent in both the circulatory and the neural nets. However, The characteristic bilateral balance of form is most clearly seen in the human skeleton, which is mirror-like reflection of bone construction on either side of the longitudinal axis of the spinal column. The symmetry is the rational basis for inferring that there is also a pattern in the underlying human energy field. This assumption is the background for the therapeutic touch practitioner's assessment of the healer's energy state. Illness is an imbalance in an individual's energy field. In therapeutic touch, the healer directs and modulates this energy field, using the sense of touch as a telereceptor, much like the other 4 major senses of the body. All of these senses can act over distance without connecting apparatus. Sight via photons, taste and smell by means of chemical molecules, hearing through acoustical pressure, and touch for the therapeutic touch practitioner via fine energy cues, such as changes in pattern. These cues occur in the human energy field that extends a few inches from the body surface of the person being treated. They can also be sensed through direct contact with the person's skin. Human beings have natural abilities to transform and transcend their condition of living. In a sense, these functions are the necessary prerequisites for healing to occur. The practice of therapeutic touch is based upon these assumptions. You are the healer, acting as a human support system. Your own healthy energy field providing the scaffolding to guide the repatterning of the healee, the person you're healing, of the healee's weakened and disrupted energy flow. Such support is oriented towards stimulating the healee's own immunological system. For in the final analysis, it is the healee who heals her or himself. In therapeutic touch, the healing act per se is a conscious act. In contradistinction to a passive trance-like or hypnagogic, state, this healing act is based upon a body of knowledge derived from logical deduction, formal and clinical research findings, the compendium of world literature concerning the therapeutic use of human energies, and deep experimental knowledge that grows into a personal knowing. What therapeutic touch can do. There are several consistent and highly reliable results of the therapeutic touch interaction. Relaxation. The first response of the healee is a very rapid relaxation response, in many instances occurring in as little as 2 to 4 minutes. Pain reduction. Clinically, there is a significant lowering or eradication of pain. In many cases, this occurs when analgesic. So when nothing else is effective, because that's usually when people try these other things. What is going on? There must be some sort of spirit here itching my nose. Many terminally ill patients, once freed from the stress of persistent pain, are able to go into a peaceful transition into death. So they can die anyway, but you can reduce their pain. I'm going to do some videos about this, but we do, through my church, we do death doula stuff too, so helping people to cross over. So lots more on that another time. Okay, accelerated healing process. Primarily because the relaxation response and the relief from pain have salutary effects on the healee's immune system. Therapeutic touch accelerates the healing process. One of the clearest examples of this is the healing of bone fractures. With therapeutic touch, good callus formation, the precursor to bone development, can be seen in x-rays in approximately 2.5 weeks rather than the 6 weeks it usually takes. And if you can get to somebody right away, before they've even seen their bone, I've met people that, so that they didn't know the bone was broke, and the healer healed them, and it wasn't broke. Anyway, more on that later. But just, it seems like it's magic, it's supernatural, but that's what we're meant to be able to do. Okay, alleviation of psychosomatic illness. Of the physiological systems that are sensitive to therapeutic touch, my choice for the most sensitive is the automatic nervous system. Therapeutic touch deals best with many of this system's dysfunctions, which are at the heart of what is known as psychosomatic illnesses. Society once looked askance at these illnesses, but today it is recognized that up to 70% of the illnesses in the world are psychosomatic in origin. Every single illness is emotional. Everything's in your field. You can get rid of it by dealing with the emotion. Okay, so when you do energy healing, you're assisting the person to deal with the emotion without restoring the emotion or even remembering the emotion. Okay, therapeutic touch is for everyone. In many hospitals, teams of nurses as well as interdisciplinary teams use therapeutic touch in their daily clinical practice. From one such group in Canada, a nurse recently wrote, "I was traveling the road near Brandon, Manitoba, the other day when I saw the flashing lights of a police car near the site of an accident. I pulled over and walked to the cars thinking to help by doing therapeutic touch to any accident victims who might need it. However, when I got to the area, I saw that David, a pediatrician on our team, the hospital, had gotten there before me and was already doing therapeutic touch to one of the drivers. In this instance, the nurse and physician worked together on the side of the road in the intermittent glare of the red flashing lights of the police vehicle. They did therapeutic touch as first aid to the wounded until an ambulance arrived and emergency equipment was put in place. Then they turned their attention to other passengers who were still in shock by their involvement in the traumatic accident." And you can always stabilize people in any situation just by running energy over them. Through the relaxation response rapidly elicited by therapeutic touch, they succeeded in helping the passengers regain control of themselves. Therapeutic touch has also reached deeply into the community. In several parts of the United States, senior citizens, particularly those known as the Gray Panthers, have developed local programs that I call peer therapeutics. They regularly visit nursing homes and other sites for people of comparable age and treat them with therapeutic touch. Therapeutic touch is used freely within families as a means for family members to care for one another. So yes, everyone and anyone can do therapeutic touch. Again, like we said, it's your level of frequency. Okay, functional aspects of, let's see. I don't want to bore you to tears. Just a slight bore. Okay, centering, getting to know yourself. The point of entry into the therapeutic touch process is the act of centering your consciousness. Centering is an act of self-searching, a going within to explore the deeper levels of yourself. In this act of journeying inward, you can learn, like a yoga, to trance or follow the energy flows of your own consciousness in a quest to understand your own being and your relationship to the universe. The importance of centering is the fact that in therapeutic touch, you, as the healer, are the sole determiner of what will happen during the therapeutic process. It is you who initiates the interaction. That's why it's so important to know what you're doing and to have a higher frequency. So yeah, anyone can be a healer. You're not going to mess anything up, and it's all wonderful. But you're in charge of the healing. So what you visualize, what spirit beings you call in to help you, where your frequency is, this is all part of how you heal other people and how you help them heal with different emotions and things without having to remember what actually happened to them. How the process proceeds depends upon your ability to discriminate among the subtle cues of the Healy's energy field dynamics. Finally, it is your considered judgment that will decide when the therapeutic touch process is to be determined and how this shall occur. The insubstantiability of the energy flows that you are dealing with makes it imperative that you feel quite sure of your judgment, which are largely subjective in nature. In centering your consciousness, you go beyond the everyday stimulus and response of bodily interactions with the environment or the world out there. In centering, you relate to the extraordinary stillness of the personal, private world within you, and you bask in its profoundly quieting psychological and physical effects. In time, you begin to realize that you are your consciousness, and your consciousness lives on. You perceive that the way you color and give substance to your experiences is through the relationships you build between yourself and other beings or things or ideas. You may start to appreciate the necessity of clearing, acknowledging these relationships without previous bias. But everything is in your own consciousness. You're projecting the reality that you're living. During therapeutic touch, this centering process translates into a respect for the individuality of each person's dynamics. You can then bring to a moment everything in your past experience that might help meet a person's needs in a therapeutic manner. In general, healing might be described as the conscious, full engagement of your energies in the interest of helping another. With therapeutic touch, this interest arises from a sense of compassion and a recognition that there is an underlying order in the universe. This learning occurs experientially, experience-wise, let's just say, through the process of centering. In therapeutic touch, you not only start the healing process by centering your consciousness, but you then stay in your center through the entirety of the healing enactment. This sounds difficult. However, although it depends concentration, it is a very enjoyable experience. Because in centering, you are learning about the dynamics of your own consciousness. In this act of quietude, you can ask questions. Then if you listen very carefully, quite profound answers can be reflected from the deepest place of your inner self. It is not easy to still the chattering monkey mind and focus your attention on the response that well up from the deep reaches of your consciousness. However, if your motivation is high enough, a way will be found in a surprising short time. Okay, how to center. Start simply. Sit in a comfortable position and take quiet, full breaths. It does not matter whether your eyes are closed or not. The purpose is to become aware of the fullness of your own being. Be aware of what you feel like when you are quiet. Explore your own being and notice feelings that edge into your consciousness. Quietly follow thoughts that cross your mind without getting too emotionally involved in them. From amongst the energies you perceive, distinguish which ones belong to you and which ones belong to other things or people with whom you may be identifying. Concentrate on your own attributes, your own stuff. As you gain a sense of self, become sensitive to your own more subtle energies. You can begin by quietly becoming aware of your own breathing. Notice how your breath fills your lungs. Then try to sense how your breath permeates the tissue of your body and quickens its functioning with life-sustaining prana or vital energy. Now, shift your attention to take note of other subtle energies. If someone else is in the room, how do you sense his or her presence? If something distracts your attention, can you capture the process of visualization that brings it to your attention? Can you follow the process of how you feel in an emotion for someone who is not physically present? As you gain the faculty with this exercise, try to go one step further. Attempt to identify by mood or feeling with the facet of your consciousness that senses energy and creates visualization or emotions. As you access these deeper levels of your being, you will become aware of an enveloping stillness and a sense of timelessness. In this stillness, you will not find it difficult to attain a state of receptivity in which personal insights may emerge. You may find it useful to have a pen and pad at hand so that you can jot down key thoughts or symbols without disturbing your train of thought. You will have stepped into another, often unrealized dimension of yourself. And in actuality, you will not notice the deep quietude or sense of timelessness until you come off center. At that moment, you will also feel a sense of well-being, relaxation, and being in command of yourself. This is a very nice feeling, and you will look forward to repeating the exercise. Okay, so comments on exercise 1. It is important to know your own center so that you can help others reach theirs. As you learn to quiet the inner turmoil of meaningless dialogue with your monkey brain, you can more clearly heed your psyche's answer to your question. They can listen better. And trust what you get. Moreover, when you thoroughly understand this tranquil state, you will find that you can use it during therapeutic touch processing. From this state of consciousness, you can treat clients for a wide range of disorders, including irritability, restlessness, anxiety, hypertension, chemotherapy sickness, inflammation, disease, well, any emotional or physical disease, really. The treatment will occur in a manner that may not be meaningful to you now, but will become more so by the time you finish this chapter. Ooh, exciting. Centering experiences range widely from the grounded feeling of physical centeredness to the awareness of the transcendent functions of consciousness. As the process of centering is experienced over time, it brings the various aspects of the human energy field into resonance with one another. It integrates the various facets of the personality. You then feel more of one piece, more focused. You know with a personal surety that when engagement of the self is a conscious act, there can be a redirection or transformation of the personality. Out of this realization, your sense of the future becomes more life-affirming. The sum of these insights lead to the personal knowledge that this act of quietude provides access to the inner self, the teacher, the guide, who is a reflection of your individual power. To stimulate the sense of stillness and timelessness characteristic of the centering experience, and in addition create a situation in which you can observe the dynamics of the visualization process, you may wish to go on the guided imagery offered in Experimental Exercise 2. So we're not going to get into that today. Okay. Well, let's see if we have an experimental number 2 time for that. Okay, well, maybe we do. Okay, I guess we will do that then. The luminous child and the lake of quietude. All techniques to center your consciousness are marked by a characteristic atmosphere of pervading stillness. The sense of quietude is ever present. To do the following guided imagery, either have somebody slowly read it to you while you close your eyes and follow the imagery, or read the exercise into a tape recorder and then play blah, blah, blah. Okay. Do not program the experience. Let every moment of it tell you its own story, and listen to it quietly. Think of it as an experience to enjoy and to learn from as you would learn from a friend. Okay? Sit in a comfortable position. One hand on your lower abdomen. Center your consciousness. Slow down and gentle your breath until you feel your lower abdomen respond and become still as a lake of utter quietude. There is not a ripple on the lake. Look for an area of the lake that is shining. Can you see a pattern of light in that area of the quiet lake? Look closely at this pattern and notice that there is a childlike figure in the shining light. This figure is neither human nor non-human. It is just a childlike figure that depicts a sense of innocence, acceptance, and simple serenity. Don't expect or program this figure to be anything in particular. Just allow it to be on its own terms. Sensitively expand your own energy field and feel the presence of the figure. Match its breathing pattern. Trust it and identify with it, for it's of your own nature. Ahead of you, see the glistening lake. Step into the lake and take the hand of the luminous child by touching it with the energy center that overlies the space just above the palm of your hand. The child's touch is as light as a butterfly. Stay sensitive to this light touch and ask it to show you how to understand it. Now feel at one with your deepest wish or commitment to help others, and clearly form a question in your mind. Ask the question of the child presence, and then let it go as gently as a feathery fluff floating on the breeze. Listen carefully. Do not allow the surface of the lake to ruffle. Keep the surface calm and undisturbed. Use slow, deep breaths to clear away pockets of tension. The touch of your luminous child is like cool, flowing water on the placid surface of the lake. An answer comes to you that is as clear and refreshing as the touch of the waters. After you receive your answer, take a deep breath and very slowly open your eyes. Know that this experience is only the beginning. There will be other times and other experiences. All right, more on that book coming soon. Thank you for listening. I love you. Goddess bless you. Heart chakra. Throat chakra. Crown. Energy flowing down through you. You're grounded energy. You're grounded. And so it is done. Goddess bless you.